Thank you. Because I didn't have my microphone on. Oh my gosh. So all that talking I just did, you couldn't hear me. And here's what I want you to know. So we're gonna start over. So now let me know if you hear. Let me know if you hear me now. Let me know if you hear me now. My microphone wasn't on. Let me know in the comments. Thank you, Belisa. Thank you, Dr. Eugenia. Thank you so much for letting me know. Um, Perfect, perfect. Yes, awesome, awesome. User error, user error. So what I was saying was, I will repeat this because I think it's really important for you to know, for you to understand the message that I want you to walk away from today, which is what my entire message is really built around, is the fact that your personal brand is your gateway to wealth. Your personal brand is an income producing asset. Your personal brand is an income producing asset when it's built right and when it's leveraged properly. So, today we're talking about the gospel of personal branding according to Coach Prime. Coach Prime being Deion Sanders, who came out of the NFL, the Major League Baseball. He has a very storied history in sports. I considered him. I told my husband, I said he's like, our sports royalty. To some degree, when you think about him and the legacy that he has created, and the one that he's also building with his sons, and with his current with what he did at Jackson State, and with what he's doing in Colorado. So he, his announcement of becoming head coach at Colorado and heading into Colorado, there was lots of fanfare, there was lots of buzz, there was lots of hype. And I want to show you how, when you're intentional about building your personal brand and you're intentional about leveraging it to create wealth, I want to show you what that looks like. I want to show you what it looks like. And I want you to see how it's possible for you. I want you to see how it's possible for you. So before I jump in with that, thank you so much again, Dr. Eugenia. Hello, Belisa. Thank you so much for joining. Hello, Anika from Slovakia. It's so great to see you here. Welcome if you're watching live, or if you're watching the replay, if you're watching from Facebook, or if you're watching from LinkedIn. So I always share a little tidbit about stuff that I like before we jump into the content. And today I want to share with you Donna's recipe. Donna's recipe is what I use on my hair. A year ago, I went natural, and Donna's recipe, the sweet potato pie, extra creamy hair cream. I absolutely love this. This is Tabitha Brown's brand. This is by Tabitha Brown. You can get it at Ulta. Absolutely love it for the moisture, but I don't like the smell because it smells like sweet potatoes. But it's an amazing. It really moist. It really makes your hair moist, and it curls it up and all that good stuff. All right, so let's jump into this gospel of personal branding according to Coach Prime. So let me give you a little. I want to give you a little, just brief backstory on Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. So the backstory is, I am a Philly girl. I'm from Philadelphia. I'm a city girl through and through. City girl turned suburbanite, I guess. And I was a huge basketball fan. I was, 1970, the 76ers, I believe we had the greatest team ever back in the day, with Julius Erving and all those amazing people. And then the league changed a bit, and it changed with AI, I believe, and in my opinion, and it brought a different kind of spin to it, and it felt a bit more me, I. So I switched from following basketball to football, and I was a fan of the Minnesota Vikings. People were like, wait, what? And I was like, I was, because Denny Green was the coach at the time. He was the only Black head coach at the time in the NFL. And, it was just my way of going, okay. And then I was learning the game. But then I was like, I'm going to be, an Eagles fan. So I became an Eagles fan. Well, being an Eagles fan, you are an automatic enemy to Dallas. And during that time, Dallas, the team, they had Deion Sanders, they had Michael Irvin, they had those guys, and it was a major, major, major rivalry. And that was my first introduction to Deion Sanders. And I followed him a little bit because he was in our division. If you know anything about football, he was in our division, and so you couldn't miss him. And his celebration dances in the end zone and all that. Yes, Latanya says it's a Philly thing, absolutely 100%. But here it is where I want you to really look at Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. Here's where I want you to really look at him from a personal brand perspective. I'm gonna highlight so much, but I'm only gonna highlight three things because I believe these are the three things that are applicable to you as people that are part of my community, as women that are part of my community. And the first thing about Coach Prime is he is multifaceted. This live stream is all about being multifaceted, being multi-passionate, and how that gives you an edge, right? So he's multifaceted. And you're like, how is he multifaceted? He's in sports, yes, but he's in multiple facets of sports. Multiple facets. He played Major League Baseball. He played in the NFL. How many players played Major League Baseball and in the NFL, right? He was a broadcaster, commentator, so he was in the booth. And now he's a coach. So he has all these things, and it's all I love it because it's all the core of it is sports. And it allows him to do the very thing that I teach people about being able to pivot from one thing to the next because it's anchored in the idea of sports. For him, it's sports. And what his commitment is to sports in whatever way, whatever capacity he could serve. So he was in Major League Baseball, he was in National Football League, he's a broadcaster in the booth, commentator, and now he's coach, right? So that's one thing about him. He is multifaceted and he learned very early how to embrace, okay, this is the word for you, how to embrace being a multifaceted athlete. He was a multifaceted athlete, right? So that's the first thing. Embrace the fact that you're multifaceted. Don't shy away from it. Don't push it away. Don't try to avoid it. Don't let it be that people tell you you only get to do one thing. You have to understand how to do multiple things, but still have an anchor, still have a core, still have a main thing that's the main thing. Right? And I teach you how to do that. That's one of the things I teach my people how to do. So that's the first thing. He was multifaceted. The second thing is his personality. He has a very flamboyant personality. Very flamboyant personality in his flashy style, his jewelry, his confidence, which I'm sure a lot of people see it as being cocky, right? But I believe it really is just his assured confidence of who he is and what he brings, right? What he brought to the game, what he brought to Major League Baseball, what he brought to the NFL, what he brought to the broadcast booth, what he's bringing to the field as a coach, right? He walks in confidence about who he is and the ability that he has, right? And what he's been called to do. He has lots of charisma, right? He's very charismatic, right? And we saw a lot of that when he was playing football, when he was actually playing in his touchdown celebrations. That was something that set him apart in the NFL. But that was all part of his natural personality. He didn't suppress his personality. He was who he was, and he showed up in that way. So my word to you is embrace your personality, right? So you heard me talk about this being in a new era. Like, we're in a new era, and I believe it with every fiber of my being. I'm seeing it everywhere. People are talking about it. People are talking about entering their own new era and all of that. We're in a new era. And in this era, the first thing that I talked about was what? Embrace. Embrace it. Lean in. So when it comes to you being multifaceted, like we talked about with Coach Prime, when it comes to your personality, be it flamboyant or whatever type of personality you have, embrace it. Lean into it. Be who you are. It's all about authenticity. Authenticity is the name of the game. And it's a huge part of your personal brand. If you can't be authentic to who you are, if you can't show up the way if you can't show up in the way that, you're created, your personality, if you can't let your personality shine through, you are going to struggle. It is going to be difficult because it is going to really suck the life out of you when you're trying to show up being like somebody else because you look at them and how their being works. Well, it works for them because that's how they are. It is not going to work for you. Okay. So really explore in terms of your personality. Like, what do you love? Do you like to laugh? Are you loud? Are you soft spoken? Are you serene? Are you laid back? Are you extra? What are you? And really lean into that, because that's part of your personal brand. That's part of how people are going to experience you when they come into your space. And you have to be able to sustain it. You have to be able to sustain it. So you can't sustain inauthenticity. You can't sustain that. You can't sustain being fake and phony. That's not sustainable. It's just not. What is sustainable is for you being really clear about who you are and about what your personality is. And one of the things that I haven't talked about that I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do that as our workshop Wednesday next week, is talk about the archetypes when it comes to your personal brand. Because I think that's of value to you, for you to really see where you fall in the archetype structure in terms of, your personality and things like that. I'm not going to get into that right now. I think I will get into that during Workshop Wednesday. So make sure you come back next week for that. But your personality, okay? Embrace your personality. Lean into it. The third thing Coach Prime did is he created a persona. He created a persona. And I'm a believer in creating a persona. And this persona is not about creating something fake, because we've already talked about that. It's not that. It really is about creating this persona of how you want people to see you. Deion Sanders' name is Deion Sanders, right? But his persona is Coach Prime. His persona is Coach Prime, right? So that Prime, so it started as prime time, I think. It started as prime time. Yes, it started as prime time when he was playing on the field, because he made those big moments, right? And he delivered in high pressure situations. So he became prime time, right? So that was the persona then. Then it went from prime time. Now, of course, he's not playing, but he's coaching. So now it's Coach Prime. And that's a persona that he created. And if you notice, there are certain like people, celebrities in particular, you see them, they do create personas. They create these personas because it's how they want to be, it's how they want to be known. So, but for him, he's known as Coach Prime, prime time. And it has meaning. And when you hear Coach Prime, you know who you're talking about. You don't even have to say Deion Sanders. People know. And when it comes to building a personal brand that is you're going to leverage to generate wealth, the biggest thing that you want to be strategic about is being known. The biggest thing you want to be strategic about is being known. So can you guys, I don't know, I see something here with my connection. Okay, I think it's okay now. All right, it might have gotten a little wobbly. Um, okay, so yes, you want to be known, because the more people that know you, right, the more opportunity you have, the more impact you can have. Okay, so those were the three things. If you're multifaceted, embrace that you're multifaceted, but you have to learn how to create an anchor, if you will. My Wi-Fi is really, looks like it's really cutting up today. Yeah, it's saying it's unstable. I'm not sure how it's coming across on the hold on. Let me see. I just want to make sure. Someone says it's perfect time. And yeah, my connection is looking really, I've never seen this happen before. So let's see what's going on. Are you guys, you here with me? You can see me and hear me just fine. Okay, good, 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 good. All right. Um, so, being multifaceted, right? Really lean in, embrace that, but also be sure that you have a core, at your core. So another great example of this is Steve Harvey. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Cherie. Thank you, Latanya, Angela. Thank you for all letting me know that it's good on your end. Steve Harvey is a great example of this person that's multifaceted, but still, has an anchor, has a core, and his core is comedy, right? His core is comedy. So everything kind of comes from that comedic place, no matter what he's doing, right? So it really is important for you to find what is your core, what's at the core of your message and what it is that you do, and that allows you to pivot from one thing to another. What do I mean when I say this? This is what I mean. So a lot of women that I work with, so they're going to be either some type of corporate executive or something, or they're going to be a woman entrepreneur, one of the two. Woman executive or woman entrepreneur. They're going to be in one of those two spaces or both at the same time. So what we have to find is what's at the core of their message. What are they all about? What do they want people to know? What do they want to be known for? Right? So we figure out what they want to be known for. And once we do that, we're like, okay, so even in your corporate world, you can speak about this or show up as this or whatever. Even as an entrepreneur, you could do it. Even as a speaker, as an author, as a coach, as a business owner, as a whatever it is that you want to do, whatever you want to put out to the world, whatever you want to put in your umbrella or your ecosystem, it's still going to point back to that one thing. And that's the thing I wholeheartedly believe that's the thing that anchors multifaceted people, is not having to do one thing, but being known for one thing. I hope that makes sense. All right. So that's what, in my definition of being multifaceted, that's what it looks like. It's one idea, one message delivered multiple ways. Okay. All right. And then we talked about personality. What is your personality? Have you really done the work to discover who you are and what your personality is, the things that you love about yourself, the things that you really need to work on, but really like honing in on your personality and making it a part of your personal brand? So if you like to laugh, if you like to joke, if you like to dress up, if you like to wear funky glasses, that's one of the things I've been wearing I've been wearing funky glasses ever since I started wearing glasses when I turned 29 years old. I turned 29. I got I had to go on steroids because I had something called pulmonary sarcoidosis. So they put me on steroids. This was back in 1991. They put me on steroids, and one of the side effects of the steroid was blurred vision, and my vision never, and it really wasn't that bad. It was like just a hair, and it never went back to normal. So I had to start wearing glasses, and I decided that if I'm going to wear glasses, because I'm not wearing contacts, that's not happening, that I would make glasses a part of my personality. They would be a fashion statement for me. They would speak on my behalf. And that's what I use my glasses for. So if you see me wearing all these different types of glasses, different colors, different shapes, different things, that's an expression of my personality. And that part of me is fun, because I do like having fun. So I express it through my glasses. By the way, these are some that I just got. I express it through my glasses. For you, maybe it's something else, a way that you can express your personality, right? Another way I express my personality is by wearing red lipstick, and that part of me is um, let's see, alluring. That's the word? I'm alluring. That part of me is alluring. It's that attractive, that, because I love red lipstick, and that's part of my personality. So when you get really clear about why you're doing what you're doing as it relates to your personality, then you can start to do things, right? Um, and then persona, like, who do you want to be known as? What do you want to be known for? Right? So if I had to think of, like, in terms of a persona for myself, I have not been that intentional about it. And probably because it's me having the confidence and the courage to step into it. So people have called me the queen of branding, which actually I think is trademarked, so I'm not using that. Um, they've called me the icon of branding, which is fantastic. And I've been called the Chanel of branding, which I absolutely love that one. So I don't know how that works in terms of I'm not trying to trademark anything. Obviously, I can't trademark Chanel, but the vibe, the feel of being known as the Chanel of personal branding is fantastic to me, because it really sets the tone. It sets the bar. Icon of branding. Yes, that's what Angela's like, icon of branding, because that really goes with my brand. It goes with my message. It goes with my belief that we all have the capacity to be iconic, that it's not reserved for special people. It's not reserved for celebrities. It's not about being famous. It's about having the courage and having the capacity to be who you are, to authentically be yourself, to authentically show up in the world, to authentically serve in a way that impacts and empowers others. That's what being iconic means to me. You are a representation of the fabulousness, that's in the world. Because that's what an icon, if you will, when you think of icon, not person, but when you think of an icon in terms of the little graphics, the little thing, it's a representation. So you, as an icon, you are a representation of the best of the best. You're a representation of the amazingness that's in the world. You're a representation of what's good, what's wonderful, what's fabulous in the world. And I want women to really embrace the idea, the concept that you are iconic. There's only one you. The only DNA that exists with regard to you is you. Nobody can duplicate your DNA, because if you do, now you're getting into cloning, and we're not even going to talk about that, right? But you are a masterpiece. You are the original, right? You were created and you were designed unique, with a unique purpose, with a unique intention in the world, right? So yes, By those standards, you are iconic. And I want women to understand that. I want women to know it. I want women to embrace it. I want women to walk in it. But I know it takes courage. I know it takes confidence. I know it takes an understanding that you are iconic. I know it takes you even believing it, right? I think one of the most challenging parts of what I do is getting women to believe and know that they're iconic. Because most of us think that we're ordinary, which is, I'm just an ordinary person. You're not just ordinary. You're extraordinary. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are designed with so much purpose on the inside of you. And it's up to you to show up in the world walking in that purpose. So I know I went. So I want to share just a couple more things with you about this leveraging your personal brand into wealth, leveraging the personal brand and getting real results. Like I said, when you are intentional about building your personal brand, and then you have a strategy for leveraging it to generate income, it can do things that you never imagined. Let me show you. We're talking the gospel of personal branding according to Coach Prime, right? So let's talk about Coach Prime. Coach Prime, when he got to Colorado, before he got to Colorado, okay, one of the things that I believe some of the people, the head people, the powers that be, at Colorado, at the college, from what I've read, I've read this a few times, that they did not have the money for the contract that they offered him, but they believed in him so much. They offered him the contract and said, "We'll find the money." This speaks to the value. This speaks to how much they valued Coach Prime and his ability and his skill and all of that personal brand stuff we talked about. They're like, "Listen, we don't have this, but we will find it." This is what happens when people value what you bring to the table. I want you to hear this, and I want you to hear this really, really good. When people value what you're bringing to the table, they will find the money. They found the money. From what I read, the alumni of the college raised over $20 million, I believe. Wait, and all that money was donated to the athletic department. Excuse me. Okay. So when people value what you're bringing to the table, they will find the money. That's a principle that you should write down. When people value what you bring to the table, they will find the money. They will find a way, because they will believe in it so much that even if they're like, "You know what? I don't have it right now, but I believe it's coming. Let me find it. Let me put out a call. Let me put out a SOS. Let me put out a something," right? So that's one thing. The second thing is their ticket sales. Now we're talking about Coach Prime's personal brand and how it has impacted, how it has created financial impact. Okay. And I want you to see this through the lens of the fact that this is possible for you, because it is. Season tickets sold out months in advance. I think it was like the first time in, I don't remember how long, season tickets for the Colorado Buffaloes football team sold out. Why? Because Coach Prime was coming. Coach Prime was coming. Sold out. Their ticket sales, the ticket sales increased by 1,668%. Their ticket sales increased. This was a team that was they only won like one game last season. They've already won, I think, 3 straight games. I think 2. I can't remember. I don't know. Right? So they're already up. So the ticket sales increased by 1,668%. Their merch for the football team, the sales are up by 100%. Right? So we got the alumni donating to the athletic department to help cover Coach Prime's contract. You got ticket sales that have increased. You got the price of tickets that went up. Excuse me. The price of tickets that went up, I'm sure, you know. Then let's talk about the sunglasses. Let's talk about the sunglasses, because the sunglass thing was like, so if you know, there was some scuttlebutt about Coach Prime wearing his sunglasses at the press during when he was doing press, things like that. The coach of the last team that they played, he wasn't feeling it. You know, he made some comment about it being disrespectful, pretty much what he said. But what he didn't know was that Coach Prime did a collaboration with Blenders. Blenders makes eyeglass, is an eyeglass brand. Coach Prime did a collaboration with them, and a couple of their glasses are in the collaboration, and they're called Prime. You can get Prime Gold or you can get Black. It's a very affordable sunglass. I think they're $67. $67. Okay. All right. The gold ones, you got to pre-order, because I went and looked. The gold ones you have to pre-order. Blenders, since that whole scuttlebutt with the glasses, and then everybody was wearing glasses, and Coach Prime bought his entire team sunglasses. Okay. Since that happened, they have sold, you ready? Are you ready? $1.2 million in glasses, in sales. $1.2 million. $1.2 million in eyeglass sales. So when I say that your personal brand has the power, it has the capacity, it has the ability to create wealth for you, that it is in your personal brand is an income generating asset. This is what I mean. Just look at the numbers. All of these numbers are hinged on the personal brand of Deion Sanders. If Deion Sanders was not coming to not Buffalo, they're called the Colorado Buffaloes. If Deion Sanders was not coming to Colorado, they would not have had season ticket sellout. They would not have had an increase of 1,668% in ticket sales. They would not have record-breaking alumni donations to the athletic department. Now, Blenders, that deal probably would have been great, but it probably was made even better because it was done on a bigger stage. All of these can tie directly back to Deion Sanders' personal brand. So here's my question for you. And I want you to really, 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 really sit down with this and figure out. I want you to figure out what you want your personal brand to do for you. I'm on a panel later today. I'll have to share out the information. I'm on a panel later today, and one of the things that we're talking about is trends. And my contribution to the conversation is what I see as trends in personal brands. And the trend that I see is we're going to see more and more people leveraging their personal brand for business success. I know for sure, I could probably bet Colorado didn't just bring Deion Sanders to their school because of his skill and knowledge and ability. But you pair that with his personal brand, they knew they were getting something explosive. They knew it. That's why they were willing to say, you know what, we value what he's going to bring so much. Every part of who he is, in terms of a coach, in terms of a person, in terms of a man, in terms of a black man, in terms of all of that. They had to look at every aspect of him, his personality, his flamboyance. He was going to bring something to the game at their school, and he is delivering on so many levels, right? I want you to really think about, what do you want your personal brand to do for you? Because it has the power to make it happen. It has the power to live. I used him as an example today, but usually I'm talking about Oprah, I'm talking about Martha Stewart, I'm talking about all those people. But the conversation right now is Coach Prime. So I wanted to bring it, and it's very recent. But we know Oprah Winfrey's personal brand made her a billionaire. It made her a billionaire. Don't believe me? What else did she do besides interview people on television? What? She spent 25 years interviewing people. But over that 25 years, she was building her personal brand. How did she do it? She stayed in front of the people. She built it through inspiration. It wasn't rocket science. She made one decision, and the one decision she made was, she said, I'm going to put myself on the cover of my own magazine. So every month I'm going to come into your house on the cover of I'm always going to stay in front of the people. Because a big part of building your personal brand is visibility. It just is. Because it keeps you at the forefront of the minds of the people that you want to be in front of. It keeps you at the forefront. Your personal brand is so powerful. And I really, 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 really want women in particular to understand that. Magic Johnson, how do you think Magic Johnson has been able to do what he's been able to do? Not because he was such a fabulous basketball player, because he leveraged his personal brand. We could go down the list of people. Yes, he made a name for himself in sports. Oprah made a name for herself in media. Deion Sanders made a name for himself in sports. Where are you gonna make a name for yourself, and how are you going to leverage that into wealth creation? Because you can do it. But you got to get clear. You got to be confident. You got to step up into your courage. You got to be strategic. And you have to start where you are. Start where you are. Listen, don't make this about money. Take money off the table. You can get on social media. You can go live. You can create a podcast. But some people have grown their personal brands just through podcasting. It can be done. It can be done. And I love that I've chosen as the one to walk you through and show you how to do it. So here's what I want you to do. I just want you to go to iconicwomanclub.com, iconicwomanclub.com, become part of the Iconic Woman Club community. There are a number of things that I'll be doing. And one of them in October, I'll be doing a 5-day challenge. I haven't done a 5-day challenge in a very long time. So I'm really excited about doing the 5-day challenge. And it's called Prosper. It's called Prosper. And I'm going to walk you through a framework for leveraging the power of your personal brand to create wealth. So it's Prosper, reveal your brand wealth. I don't know the dates off the top of my head, but it will be in the weekly newsletter that goes out every Saturday morning. So go to iconicwomanclub.com. Go there so you can make sure you get it, so you can get the dates on your calendar for Prosper in October. 5 days. We're going to talk about how to reveal your brand wealth. Let's see. I like to go through the comments. And so let's see here. Let's see. I'm going to scroll up. Love it always. Thank you, Anika from Slovakia, for joining us. Thank you, Jasmina, she says, I'm here. Awesome. Hello, Latanya. Hello, gorgeous. Good to see you. Hello, Shavri. Good to see you. Great to have you here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, Latanya says it's a Philly thing. Yes, indeed, when it comes to football, for sure. And Dr. Eugenia, she said, embrace it when I was talking about you being multifaceted. Yes, embrace the fact that you are multifaceted. Lean into it. Yes. Angela says, I always remind her of this. Absolutely. Let me tell you, leaning into it, some things, it's just a natural, organic part of who you are. And we spend a lot of time trying to resist. And in the resistance, we lose the very authenticity that we seek. That was good. Make sure you write it down. In our resistance, we lose the very authenticity that we seek, because we're so busy trying so hard not to be, instead of just being. Okay, so yes, that's good. Awesome. Latanya says, embrace your personality is what makes you unique. It's your trademark. 100%. Embrace your personality. If it's flamboyant, roll with it. If it's not, that's fine too. Because you don't have to have, let me say this, because you don't have to have a flamboyant personality just to stand out. Okay? That's not required. What is required is for you to be authentic to who you are, because that is attractive. And you hear me say this all the time. Authenticity is attractive. Okay. Cherise says, embrace who you are. That is so key. Absolutely. Angela says, this is perfect timing. Awesome. I am so glad it is. So glad it is. Cherise says, this is good stuff. Cheryl, thank you so much, Cherie. I appreciate it. And yes, icon of branding. I see it. Yes, it takes courage. Absolutely, it takes courage to do any of this. It takes real, true courage, and it takes confidence. And when you combine the clarity, the confidence, and the courage together, you have a winning combination. And Dr. Cheryl, the icon of branding, this is hilarious to me because people refer to me as Dr. Cheryl a lot. And I laugh, sometimes I have to tell people I'm not Dr. Cheryl. I don't have any degrees, earned or honorary, neither. But I appreciate it. I love the sentiment of it. And, I'll embrace it. Oh, she says, I wrote that down in my journal this morning. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Meditate on that. Believe that. Embrace that as a belief. Walk in it. And when people value what you bring to the table, they will find the money. 100%. That's a principle that I honestly believe. And this is what I want you to walk away with from today in terms of what I want you to think about. What do you want your personal brand to do for you? What do you want it to do for you? Yes, it's easy for us to think about what we want it to do for others. What do we want it to do? What do you want it to do for you? This is powerful. I appreciate you. Hello, Gloria Walker Randolph. Good to see you. Hello. Hello. So many, Norma, I love this. So many women are taught the opposite. Stay humble. I beg to differ. Humility and visibility are two different things. You better say that, Norma. Yes. Humility and visibility are two different things. You can still be visible and humble. You can still be visible and humble. 100%. Absolutely. Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. Angela says, thank you. I'm glad I was able to catch you this week. I'm glad you were too. I'm glad everyone that caught us live this week. Thank you so much. If you're watching the live, thank you. If you're watching the replay, I appreciate you. Please share this live stream out, share this video out. I want women to watch this, to hear this, to know this, because it's really, really powerful about building and embracing your personal brand, about leveraging it into wealth, because you have the ability to do it. I've shown you numbers. I've shown you the numbers with Coach Prime. We've talked about numbers before, but I want you to really, really understand that your personal brand is an income generating asset, and you have to treat it as such. Go to iconicwomanclub.com, get your name on our as part of our community. That way you also will get the dates for Prosper. Reveal your brand wealth 5-day challenge. And I'll see you next time.